Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I am your host, Elizabeth, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Marcus.
Hello. We have Impact Wrestling.
Wrestling.
We're a couple weeks out from Slammiversary now. But we are a few days out from Hell in a Cell, which we'll be making our predictions for at the end of the show, after we do the best of the night. And then that'll be a whole fun thing. And we'll be recapping Hell in a Cell this weekend. Right after the show. And it'll probably be shorter than Double or Nothing. So, Impact. This one wasn't very eventful. Not a whole lot happened. Typical Impact. Typical weekly Impact. Just like build. And yeah, not much to talk about, I guess.
Yeah. It was a neither here nor there episode.
Yeah. Not even any qualifiers or anything today. But we did get the announcement that Jack Evans will be in the Ultimate X match. Jack Evans, former AEW wrestler. And we might be seeing some more AEW wrestlers, potentially. Because Motor City Machine Guns have to recruit 2 people. And Scott D'Amore specifically said they could be current Impact or former Impact. And there's a lot of former Impact guys at AEW right now, so.
Yeah, Jesus.
Couple names that come to mind: Christopher Daniels, Jeff Hardy, Sting, EC3. You know, only the biggest names Impact's ever had.
I look forward to finding out.
You didn't get the joke, I guess.
Oh, sorry.
I said EC3 and I said the biggest names Impact's ever had. That's what happens when you don't listen.
I was listening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, did we even get any like match announcements for Slammiversary?
No.
Well, no, we got that 10-man announcement. They're still figuring out the roster for that, or the lineup for that.
Yeah.
And probably, yeah. I mean, we officially got Good Brothers vs. Briscoes. No OGK involved. But let's run down the matches real quick. We started with Savannah Evans versus Mia Yim before the Queen of the Mountain match. Then we had Kenny King versus Blake Christian, with Kenny King's spot in the Ultimate X on the line. And the fact that we didn't get announcement of a qualifier for next week and we didn't get one today makes me think that the final spot is going to be another like big announcement like it was with Jack Evans.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a very recognizable name. I right now the lineup isn't too exciting. Jack Evans definitely makes it a little more exciting, but hopefully we get another big name in there. We got Matt Raywall versus Rich Swann. OGK versus Rhino and Heath. And then Moose and Macklin versus PCO and W. Morrissey. So yeah, not a super eventful show. No bangers on the card. It is what it is. You want to go into some news?
I got a little bit of news for you. I got a little more news actually right now than I did yesterday.
Oh, good.
Now, if only I knew where my Twitter app was, we could get into it.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just... Also, there is something going on in this bedroom Perhaps it's because of the kitten that is just she's sitting under the desk facing me. My nose gets so itchy in here. It is insane.
It's also a letterbox in there, so there's a lot of dust.
What are you doing to me, buddy?
A lot of dust, a lot of hair.
Kitten. All right. So you want to talk about the news?
We don't have to. I mean, we could just skip it. Let's skip it.
Anyways, a couple pieces of news here and there. Some sad news. Brian Pilman Jr.'s mother passed away, which is very sad. Yeah. She was an interesting part of the Dark Side of the Ring episode about Brian Pilman. But very sad. So best wishes to him.
Yeah, he's very young to have already lost both of his parents.
Yeah, he's a very young guy. But one good thing that I did get out of the Brian Pilman episode of Dark Side of the Ring is that his grandmother, I believe, is still around.
That's good.
And she kind of raised him.
That's good.
So that's always nice to, I guess, keep in the back of your mind. Mm-hmm. But best wishes to him. All right, so I guess let's do some AEW news because we just talked about something AEW related. AEW announced that there's going to be a Battle of the Belts 3.
I would hope.
No, that's 4.
I would hope it would be like a consistent thing they do.
Yeah. At this time, they announced that it's going to be taped on August 5th, following a live episode of Rampage in Grand Rapids. The air date hasn't been confirmed, but one would assume it would be that following Saturday. Mm-hmm. So that'll be fun. Maybe we can actually watch it. I've literally never watched the Battle of the Belts before.
Yeah, I haven't either, I don't think. Because I think the first one was during an Impact pay-per-view. I forget which pay-per-view. And then I don't remember what happened with the second one. Why we couldn't watch it. But that was Thunder Rosa versus Nyla Rose, right?
I believe so, yeah.
I can't remember why we couldn't watch it.
It may have just been like a lot going on.
Yeah.
So at this point, Dave Meltzer apparently let out a rumor that Hangman was going to be facing Okada at Forbidden Door, but that is incorrect. That is not the truth. The match at this time is not planned because the lineup is a complete secret. Nobody knows anything about anything.
Okay. I mean, Hangman versus Okada does sound like an incredible match, but it wouldn't have been my first pick. First pick is Jay White and Hangman.
Yeah, some Bullet Club action.
Yeah.
Also, AEW news. Is it news? Is it real? Is it fake? Who knows? Who cares? I kind of do. MJF was removed from the roster page on AEW's website, which is just another fun little detail. A little detail in the story.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, they did this with someone else, didn't they? They removed somebody from the active roster. I can't remember who it was.
I mean, a lot of people have been removed.
I mean,
there's been different stories.
Part of a storyline. Was it Wardlow?
High five, brother.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was.
It may have been Wardlow.
Maybe.
Also in news, I suppose. It looks like W. Morrissey is done with Impact. I believe today was his last episode.
Yes, as the title says, W. Morrissey is no longer in Impact. Hopefully this means he's going elsewhere where he can earn more money. Maybe AEW, where he already showed off his stuff. Or, you know what? He'd probably kill it in WWE right now, given his...
I don't think he would ever go back. Not based on how he was treated.
Yeah. But I hope to God he doesn't go over to MLW. Because that...
Oh, I don't think so.
I feel like that's step down.
No, I think it's only upward momentum for the dude.
Yeah. I do think it is AEW. Or maybe Japan. That'd be cool.
Maybe. Speaking of MLW, segue. At Battle Riot at the Melrose Ballroom, Scarlett Bordeaux is going to be debuting.
That's cool. Good for her.
Yeah, fun times.
Killer Cross has already debuted for them and has been wrestling for a little bit now. So it's about time Scarlett also got involved.
Yeah, I agree. Also, Ring of Honor news. It looks like AEW is saying at this time that Ring of Honor is aiming to have a pay-per-view on the weekend of the 23rd of July. And it has been rumored that this pay-per-view will be Death Before Dishonor, and it will be in Lowell, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I'm wondering... I'm hoping, not wondering, if this that this is the start to an actual consistent schedule for Ring of Honor. Because this is their second pay-per-view since technically restarting. Their first since the official announcement. And now that we have the Ring of Honor champs set, I think, maybe we get a little show, a little TV deal announcement or something, streaming deal, something moving forward.
You'd hope. You'd hope.
What's the date of it? Is it July?
July 23rd.
July 23rd.
Supposedly. So ways away, but yeah.
Now here's a question that's been on my mind since Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor. Do you take the title from Gresham?
I think you gotta, sooner or later, you gotta rip that Band-Aid off.
But I mean, like, do they hang on to Gresham as part of the roster, or do they let him go to keep Tony Khan's, like, internal flow with the Ring of Honor roster? Give it to somebody who more fits what he's looking for. The developmental side.
That I don't know. I don't feel like that'd be a mistake taking it off of Gresham.
Mm-hmm.
But also it doesn't.
You know, like, Gresham just doesn't feel like AEW, you know? But, you know, dude's hella talented, so maybe that'll change. Maybe Tony Khan sees something in him.
Yeah. You're just making me think about how much of actual Ring of Honor I'm going to miss. So.
I mean, what are you going to miss? Poor production, terrible TV deals.
Pure Rules tournament.
I'm sure
that I'm going to miss.
I mean, they still got the Pure title. The Pure title is probably the most active title they have on actual TV at AEW, besides the tag belts. I am sure Tony Khan will keep the Pure Rules going.
I don't know.
They could have easily wiped that title away, just like they did the Trios title.
That was a shame. That was stupid.
I mean, they're introducing their own Trios title, and there are only so many Trios you can have on your developmental.
Just to carry us through real quick, our last piece of news is about Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is apparently going to be in a new movie called The Kill Room, which is like no bullshit movie. It's got Uma Thurman, it's got Samuel L. Jackson writing it. And it's going to include Samuel L. Jackson, Joe Manganiello. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Deathstroke. Yeah, from the Arrow show. Yeah. If you watched,
I never watched.
If anyone watched the Arrow show, you know who he is. It's Deathstroke.
I know him from Magic Mike.
Mm.
Maya Hawke, Debbie Mazar, Larry Pine, Dree Hemingway, and Leah McSweeney are all going to be in it. It's called The Kill Room, and it centers on Reggie, who's Joe Manganiello, his boss, Samuel L. Jackson, and an art dealer, Uma Thurman, and their money laundering scheme that accidentally turns the hitman into an overnight avant-garde sensation, forcing the dealer to play the art world against the underworld. And Liv Morgan is going to play an art purist who bemoans the vapidness of art dealers.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but thank you, Deadline, for that rousing quote.
What was that art horror movie starring Jake Gyllenhaal?
Oh, Velvet Buzzsaw.
That's kind of what it sounds like.
It does, but like minus the horror aspect.
Minus like the supernatural stuff.
But yeah, that's my last piece of news.
Cool. So let's jump into the recap. We started off with Savannah Evans versus Mia Yim, and you were busy elsewhere, so I took the notes for this match.
Making dinner.
All right, sure. That's what you want to say. So let's see. I only took like the big beats. So a lot of this match was Mia Yim trying to overpower Savannah Evans. She eventually gets off a Hurricane Rana onto Savannah, but Savannah returns with a massive DDT, and she just completely overpowers Mia for most of the match. Gives her a power slam into a near fall, but then she spears the corner post. Mia Yim gives a German suplex to Savannah, but Savannah returns with the Samoan drop, and then a fisherman suplex into yet another near fall. Tasha makes some interference once Savannah distracts the ref, but Jordan Grace runs in for the save, and then Mia Yim gives the eat defeat to Savannah for the win. So Mia Yim's coming in with a lot of momentum for Queen of the Mountain.
Yeah, I'm excited to just see that match unfold. Honestly, just based on everything I've heard so far.
Yeah. So after that, we had a promo from Eddie Edwards. Shark Boy walks in and he says, "I know you haven't been here since day one, but maybe show some respect." And Eddie says, "I showed nothing but respect, and they've only disrespected me." And some guy walks in. I don't know who it was. I didn't recognize him at all. He was also in very poor lighting, so I couldn't tell who he was. Apparently he's friends with Shark Boy. Tells Eddie to put him down. 20 years, we should all be celebrating. Eddie just says, "You two, enjoy this reunion," and then walks away. We then get the Influence walking backstage. They walk up to Rosemary, and they say, "Look what you've done with the place. Thought you might need some cheering up. Don't feel bad, it's not your fault. Havoc set out to prove a point, and she proved Decay don't deserve to be tag team champs. But we have something for you. It's makeup." Rosemary gets in close to them and she says, "We promised you would see us sooner than later. So keep this, the makeup, because you'll need it to paint your pretty face back on after we bite it off." And Crazy Steve, not Steve Macklin, walks in with Taurus, and they scare off the Influence. Imagine if Steve Macklin walked in instead of Crazy Steve.
He's also got his face painted, though.
Yeah. But then we get Kenny King versus Blake Christian for Kenny King's spot in the Ultimate X match.
Alrighty. Yeah, so I finally... Okay. Clothing is just falling off things. So we start with Christian going for a nice little handshake, and Kenny thinks that's dumb, so he punches Blake. And then keeps unloading. We get a boot to King's face and an overhead kick, and then a knee to the side of King's head. King just hops out. He's like fucking over it. Then Christian misses a roundhouse. King takes advantage of that. Blake ends up dodging King, ends up diving out onto him. Then he lands. He goes up onto the ropes and is sent down in an uncomfortable fashion. And by that I mean he just falls balls first onto it. King takes advantage of that. We get a suplex to Blake and an elbow to the back of the head. However, it doesn't really, the momentum doesn't last very long. Blake ends up getting a Dragon Sleeper neck breaker and a half suplex to King. It's not enough for a pin. He hits the Cazador and a splash, still no pin. And then King goes for a blockbuster off the top. It's very clear that we're coming down the pike and like it's home stretch, but neither man can really seal the deal. King goes for the chin checker or the royal flush. Tom Hannafan didn't know, so I didn't know. It doesn't matter. Blake breaks out of the cover. We get a thrust kick to King, and King lifts Christian out, slugs him, gets kicked in the face, though, for his trouble. Then we get a splash over the back of King on the ropes. Like, King's, like, over the ropes and off the back of him. Christian then goes up top for the 450, but lands on a pair of knees, and Kenny King gets the royal flush to win.
Yeah, pretty surprised that Kenny won this, because normally if there's like a stipulation like this, it's normally it comes to fruition. Just because then like what's the point? But it seems like Honor No More are trying to get like they're getting wins. Because Kenny won, OGK won. Looks like they're getting some momentum before Slammiversary.
Yeah. I wonder why.
So then we have W. Morrissey and Bhupinder backstage. Bhupinder says, "Thank you so much for last week. I appreciate it." Morrissey says, "I know you're up and coming. It's not the worst thing to have someone watch your back." Bhupinder says, "Looks like you have a big match coming up. If you need help, I have your back." And then off screen, you just hear PCO shout, "Morrissey!" And Morrissey just says, "Thanks, but I got it tonight." It's such a weird pairing. I don't get it. Morrissey, two weird pairings. Him and Bhupinder and him and PCO. Opposite sides of the spectrum, but still both weird.
I loved it. I love the weird dynamic between the two. And I think it's extra fun because like Morrissey used to be like such like a big scary guy. And now he's PCO's little buddy.
He's a man of the people.
Yes.
So then we have Matthew Raywall versus Rich Swann, who is now the digital media champion.
Yeah. I didn't do that well with this fucking match. Mostly because Matt Raywall was like talking a lot of shit and it was very distracting, actually. I didn't mind it because it was funny, but it was very distracting as far as like trying to take notes. Raywall does a fun little teasing Swann for being short by like, you know, going for like the grapple, but like raising his hand too high. But then like Swann starts mimicking him and they start like dancing and Raywall just like walks away because he's fucking over it. Then we go around, they're dodging each other, they go ringside. Raywall stops to talk to Hannafan, who says he doesn't believe in Matt at all. And I said, at least you're honest. Then back in the ring, we get a knee to the spine of Swann. Swann dodges Matt, sending him into the corner. Kicks him upside the head. Hits him with a Hurricane Run off the top buckle. Then, now, okay, I don't know if I have the right name for this move. I'm going to try to look it up real quick. I don't know. Okay. Okay, none of these are helpful. It sounded almost like it was called the Earth Shatter or something. That's what it sounded like. I'm not sure.
Oh, the one that Raywall used?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. I had it in my mind too. I was thinking to myself, if Liz asks what move that is, it's the blank. I can't remember. I think it's the Earth Shatter.
Yeah, it's like his finishing moves aren't really anything. There's nothing in like Pro Wrestling Wiki or ProWrestlingFandom.com. Anyways, while Mark tries to tell me whether or not I got it right, we then get a cutter to Matt because the finisher or the signature move was not enough to put Swann away. And then Swann hits the Phoenix Splash to win.
Yes, I'm still trying to find his finishers.
Yeah, I genuinely do not know. I feel like I must have completely misheard it.
Yeah. Let's see, Pro Wrestling Wiki. In wrestling, finishing moves. Well, there's a director's cut. What did the move look like? Do you remember?
No, I don't. For whatever reason, it was sort of like it was a slam of some sort.
Was it a Cobra clutch lifted and dropped into a sit out side slam? Into a reverse STO?
It
says that's his current finisher.
Maybe that's what it was.
We'll say it's that. The director's cut.
Okay.
So then we have an interview with Alicia. She holds up a picture that Masha Slamovich gave her during BTI. And it's a picture of Alicia with a big red X on it. And Giselle Shaw walks in. She says, I know what that means. Artistically speaking, the red, I'm just kidding, it means Masha's gonna kill you. Then we go out to the ring. Good Brothers come out. And Carl says, how slick do these skinny jeans look? Talk to me. I have a PSA live at Impact. The Good Brothers get their Impact Tag title match against the Briscoes at Slammiversary. Doc says, Gallows says, we are here because we are 7-time tag team champs. We've sold out arenas all over the world. Every continent we step foot on, we win gold. This title shot is not earned, it's deserved. Let's be 100% honest, we've been all over the world. Madison Square Garden, Tokyo Dome, O2 Arena in London. Carl says, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where they declared us the greatest tag team. That got some boos. Gallows says, the Briscoes are a couple of bad dudes. They won titles all over the world. They've done it all. Their accomplishments don't add up to ours. It ain't adding up to us. They got first place in apple bobbing. They're on a chicken farm while we're headlining MSG. Carl says, who else has the legacy and saved tag team wrestling this century? Nobody. Gallows says, I got you a little present, a little package. The top 10 things the Good Brothers have done in Impact. And this was hilarious. So, 10 through 7 were all like winning so-and-so title, debuting, all that. Number 6 was beating the Briscoes at Multiverse of Matches. Number 5, beating the Briscoes at Multiverse of Matches. And all the way through 2 was just that, beating the Briscoes at Multiverse of Matches. And they played the same clip over and over and over, and I was cracking up. But then the Briscoes come out, and they say, you're some real funny dudes. Difference in us and you is we get up and grind every day. We're busting our ass on the farm. Your asses get pampered. We grind every day up at 4 a.m. We're not gonna stop. Carl says, you stepped on our toes coming out here. I was about to show the people our number one moment. Drum roll, please, Gallows. And he gives a little drum roll with his mouth. And Carl says, that time we beat the Briscoes. And Jay just says, comedians. That's your problem. And that's why we've got these belts and you don't. And a whole brawl breaks out after that. That was just so funny. That was like the funniest I've seen the Good Brothers.
I hate them so much. I can't find them funny. They make me mad.
We then have an interview with Josh Alexander. He says, I don't have time to be concerned. Is anyone shocked Eric got the win last week? What I need to do is prepare. We're a couple weeks away from the match in my career. He's coming for the thing I fought tooth and nail for. He can bring him, Doring, and Diener. Diener then walks in. He says, you should be very concerned. Doring then walks in, and Eric Young walks in. They all surround him, and a brawl breaks out, and security breaks it up. Again, it's exactly what we talked about last week. There's nothing special here. There's nothing special to warrant this being like the main event of Slammiversary, and you could replace this trio with any other trio. Like I was just thinking, you could replace it with House of Torture. Put Evil, Show, and Dick Togo in there, and you've got the same exact feud. It's a leader with two guys that are getting involved in the match. They're interfering. This should be like VBD being treated like a big deal instead of just Eric Young, who's been there for a while and has a couple guys. But that's where we are.
Yeah.
Like Josh is an incredible promo, and Scott D'Amore is so good with creative. They could have come up with something better. They could have. They could have come up with like Eric Young's been at Impact for so long, and it's jaded him to the point where Josh is trying to protect Impact from him because of what he could do as champ. It's literally Hangman and Punk. Except instead of the wrestling world in general, it's just Impact localized. Eric Young's been there for. Like, yeah. You could do the same thing, but at a much more extreme level. Like, instead of Punk changing the locker room dynamic or changing the everyday flow of AEW, Eric Young could literally turn the place into like a fucking a sane asylum. Like they have so much to work with when it comes to character, and yet they're not.
I know, it's a shame, and you would really hope that once this is all said and done, whoever Josh has to go after next is interesting.
It's gonna be Sami Callihan.
More interesting. Yeah, that's fair.
It's either gonna be Sami Callihan or Eddie Edwards, one of those two. Because Eddie's probably gonna win, or Honor No More is probably gonna win at Slammiversary.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. I mean, that'll probably be better than this feud, which is unfortunate. We then have we have Josh and Scott backstage after a commercial break. Josh says, "I'm not asking for a favor. Just give me a match with Doring." Scott says, "Do you think facing Doring 10 days before Slammiversary is smart? Focus on Slammiversary." Josh says, "That's why I'm here. Either I deal with Joe now or at Slammiversary." Scott says, "If you want to handle it this way, then it'll be next week." So it was announced, Josh Alexander versus Joe Doring next week. He'll probably lose, honestly. Probably be some distraction tactics, a la House of Torture.
Yeah, flagpole to the back.
Yeah, give Josh have him be down on his luck before Slammiversary.
Give him a reason to be scared, because he hasn't been scared yet.
Yeah. So then we have OGK versus Rhino and Heath.
Yes. Rhino just kind of spends the first couple of seconds. He's in with Mike, just kind of clobbering him. Before getting Heath in, we get some back elbows to Mike from both men. Then Taven gets in, despite never reminding us of his name, I don't believe. Gets whipped into the corner, speared by Rhino, before ducking out. Then we went to commercial break. It was Mike Bennett and Heath going at it post-commercial break, and Mike's kind of fucking around with him, hits a little thumb to his eye. Then a cheap shot gets Heath in a headlock. Taven gets the referee distracted with Rhino, and then Taven looks like he's like trying to do something with absolutely no success, and not even like the sense that like Heath overpowered Bennett and like stopped it from happening. It just was like Bennett didn't get close enough to Taven, and Taven didn't want to get in the ring. It was weird. It was a weird moment. But neither man in OGK can take advantage. Then Taven gets in, and unfortunately it's with Rhino. We get an elbow to an intruding Bennett after Taven just gets fucking like sacked. Heath then takes on the intruding Mike Bennett. Bennett, however, kind of like gets like a little chip on his shoulder, super kicks Rhino. This allows Taven to get the climax off onto Rhino to win the match. So it seems like what happened last week is starting to kick into Mike Bennett, and he's like, not playing games anymore.
Yeah, maybe they'll probably all go into Honor No More winning.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
So then Honor No More comes out, the rest of them, and they brutalize Heath and Rhino. But the Motor City Machine Guns and Frankie Kazarian come out for the save. Then we get Rhino getting stretchered away outside into an ambulance. Scott, Heath, and Motor City Machine Guns are there with him. Heath goes in the ambulance with him. Kaz says, I know I haven't been around a lot, but it seems like this happens every week. Kaz, not the right time to speak up. It's very, very rude. Very, inappropriate.
He's like, yeah, I see that your friend was just stretchered off and taken to the hospital. By the way, why do you keep fucking up?
This place is out of control.
Like, no shit, Kaz.
Like, you just got here, Kaz. After being gone for a while. Scott yells at him, says, you think I don't know that? Chris Sabin steps in and he says, give us Honor No More. Scott says, you guys were all here from day one. Kenny King is tied up. That leaves 5. You go find 2 people that want to team with you. I want people from Impact, current, past. If they side with us, go in and settle it. And notice he said past. Which I fully believe opens up for Christopher Daniels.
That wouldn't be shocking.
Maybe Ethan Page.
Like I said, I don't think Ethan Page would go back because he has bad blood with Impact.
Maybe Christopher Daniels and Samoa Joe. Oh, Samoa Joe's got the voice acting thing.
In Hollywood, baby.
Yeah. Well, it's Peacock, so maybe not. Samoa.
The bronze screen, if you will.
Christopher Daniels and who's another one? Jeff Hardy, or just the Hardys. Oh, Jeff's injured, so
yeah, Jeff's injured.
CD and Matt Hardy. There you go.
Somebody pointed out, I think today, that like Matt Hardy's gear has to be the sweatiest fucking gear.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Did you notice when Jeff was doing his thing at Double or Nothing, he was like very slow? Matt Hardy carried the fuck out of that match.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, we talked about this on the night of Double or Nothing.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, Matt Hardy fucking, that was all him.
Yeah. He kept that shit alive. It was insane. But anyway, let's get to the main event today at Impact. Moose and Macklin versus PCO and W. Morrissey. W. Morrissey's last match at Impact Wrestling. For now.
Yeah. We start with Macklin versus PCO. We get a shoulder tackle to Macklin and a bit of a scoop slam, if you will. Moose and Morrissey get in, and Morrissey does the lovely little walking over the top rope. I love when he does that. They start exchanging chops, having fun, just like alternating in the corner. Whose turn is it next? We get a big boot to Moose, and then Macklin gets in. PCO helps Morrissey by helping him splash the men in opposite corners. Moose thinks that he's got a leg up, goes to like spear PCO, but PCO dodges him, sends Moose into Macklin. We get a double chokeslam to Macklin from Morrissey and PCO. Morrissey then attacks Macklin. Moose hits him with a chop block, though, and that begins Morrissey's evening of having an injured leg. Macklin ends up getting in. He hits a DDT to the leg and then slams it into the apron before stomping on it. Then Morrissey ends up kicking Macklin out of the ring with his one good leg, which has a lot of power. But he can't tag out. He has to end up kicking Moose away after Moose tags in. And somehow, again, with the injured leg, still kicks Moose far and clean. PCO gets in. He's fighting Moose. He's fighting Macklin. We get a swinging neckbreaker to Macklin, a DDT to Moose, then a cannonball on Macklin, a deanimator to Macklin off the ropes, and a belly to Moose. Then PCO goes off the buckles with a diving headbutt. Macklin ends up breaking up this pin. Moose gets sent over the top rope. PCO dives out onto both him and Macklin. And then he goes off the top rope for, I think, like a splash or a moonsault or something. I don't know. But Moose avoids it. We get double clotheslines to Moose and PCO. They clothesline each other. And then Morrissey gets in. And Macklin hits him with a DDT to win.
Yeah, pretty fun match. But the timing of it, I'm now seeing Sean Ross Sapp reported something 30 minutes ago, which was Matt Hardy revealed that Jeff Hardy was knocked out early in the Double or Nothing match and apparently doesn't remember it. Any of it.
Wow.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Tony Khan has got to get to the point where he can say no to older wrestlers and basically tell them to stop. Because it took him a while to say no. Like he I think he said this on Twitter. Like it took him a while to say no to creative ideas. And the next step is saying no to your talent wanting to do dangerous things.
Yeah, like the novelty of it's nice, but like I don't want to watch Jeff Hardy concussed because he looked like shit.
Yeah.
He looked like shit at Double or Nothing.
And a lot of it probably also has to do with Jeff Hardy wrestles a lot. And that might be him coming out of WWE where he wrestled on TV and he wrestled at house shows. And that's a very frequent schedule, and probably once a week is not enough for him in general, but it seems like it has to get to the point where he stops. Or at least slows down significantly. He needs a Sting schedule right now. And I feel bad for everyone involved here because, like, I'm sure Jeff doesn't want to be toned down at all, and Matt Hardy's put in a bad situation because of this. And Tony Khan loses a draw with telling Jeff to calm it down.
Yeah.
But it's got to happen.
It's a real shame.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But let's move on to why we're here. Let's talk about the bests of the night. But before that, if you have a question for us, leave it in the chat. We'll answer anything you want. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment. We'll get to it in the next episode. If you're listening on Spotify, join us at twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast. Now, before we get to the best of the night, let me just give one more thing, and that is the top 10 wrestlers in pro wrestling. The update for this week. This is all in kayfabe, so wins, losses, and all that shit is factored in. Now let's start. Number 10. Formerly one half of the IWGP Tag Team Champs, probably the next. Great Okan. Number 9. The undisputed Uwu champion of WWE, Roman Reigns. Number 8. Formerly the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. Number 7. A finalist in the Best Super Junior Tournament, Hiromu Takahashi. Number 6. The Intercontinental Champion of the WWE, Ricochet. Number 5, from Dragon Gate, Dragon Dia. Number 4, from Dragon Gate, Yuki Yoshioka. Number 3, the King of Pro Wrestling Champion of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Shingo Takagi. Number 2, from Dragon Gate, Kota Minoura. And number 1, also from Dragon Gate, Kaito Ishida. All right, let's talk about the best of the night. I got my promo.
Okay.
And I really hope you agree.
Okay.
It's the Good Brothers. Their top 10 killed me. That killed me. That was hilarious.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to agree with you.
Oh, come on.
But I'm going to abstain from voting because there was nothing else really that happened that was promo worthy. Besides Frankie Kazarian
Not understanding.
speaking out of turn.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they dedicated so much time to this segment, and it was so good. Oh God. And it's just, I don't know why this was the only funny moment the Good Brothers have had, besides the Maria Kanellis situation. That's been pretty funny. The beef between Carl and Mike Bennett over Maria Kanellis.
Yeah.
All right. Wrestler of the night. You want your 3 choices?
I'd like 3 choices, yeah.
All right. W. Morrissey, Blake Christian, and Mia Yim.
Mia Yim.
All right. I think that's 2 weeks in a row for Mia Yim. Something like that.
Good for her.
Or maybe she was the week before that. All right, let's talk about wrestler or match of the night, not wrestler of the night. As always, we go from the worst match to the best match of the night, and we'll talk about which match is the match of the night. So, starting with the worst match of the night, with a 5 out of 10, OGK versus Rhino and Heath. I don't enjoy watching Heath. I gotta be honest.
He is not my favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I mean OGK is they're fine. They're good when they have really good opponents, but I think against somebody like Heath and Rhino or like against the Good Brothers, it just doesn't click. Next, 6 out of 10, Matt Raywall versus Rich Swann. Raywall is a delight. He is so fun to watch and listen to. Just an all-around great personality.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites to see in the ring because he's being I know he's going to be an asshole. And that's why I like that he's on commentary too, because it's like, yeah, it's nice.
And he's like the perfect.
I do like. I was gonna say I do like that he came back to do commentary.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
But he's like the perfect balance of like heel and commentator. He's not like Corey Graves who'll just go on rants or like just start yelling heelish things. Like Morrissey, or not Morrissey. I'm looking at a picture of Morrissey. That's why I said that. Raywall. He like his primary focus is being a commentator, and sometimes he'll take the side of the heel, but more often than not, he's just a commentator. He's definitely no Alex Kozlov, who is one of my least favorite commentators.
Yeah, well,
that's why I can't watch Strong anymore. He's just so irritating.
He is really irritating.
And I don't think he did commentary for Windy City Riot, right? Or Capital Collision. I don't think he did it for either of those.
No.
I think that was Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, I believe that was Kevin Kelly and
Raywall?
Maybe Raywall, yeah.
I love Raywall does so much like back and forth, and it's wonderful. He puts so much work in.
He really does.
All right, next up, 6 out of 10, Savannah Evans versus Mia Yim. It was a lot of I don't love many Savannah Evans matches, but this one was really enjoyable. Mostly because Mia Yim worked with Savannah's size and power really, really well. And Savannah's moves are so hard hitting that it feels like it really impacts Mia. But up next, 7 out of 10, Kenny King versus Blake Christian. A lot of flippy shit, but it was a really fun match. Kenny King is such a good wrestler. Blake Christian, great spot guy. This was kind of just like a spot fest.
Yeah, I liked it because there was a lot of back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't too much flippy shit.
Oh, yeah.
And my pick for match of the night, Moose and Steve Macklin versus W. Morrissey and PCO. All of these guys are so much fun to watch. And seeing Morrissey and PCO get along in the ring, that was shocking and so much fun.
Yeah, I thought that was cute.
I thought they put them as a team because, one's a face, one's a heel. They're going to, conflict. But no, PCO was, very cooperative.
It was just bring your kid to work day, but, your father's kind of insane.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Moose and Macklin got together well, even though both of those guys have a history of not getting along with other wrestlers.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a delight to watch, and then connecting it at the end to Sami Callihan. I forgot to mention this. Sami Callihan comes out. Moose is ready to spear his ass. That's development that I like to see. Even subtle ones like this, where it's Moose expects it. He gets ready to spear, but then Sami turns it around. And that's why I'm most excited for that match at Slammiversary, not Josh and Eric Young.
Yeah.
But yeah. So those are our best of the night. Like I said, if anyone has a question for us, leave it in the chat. I'm gonna check the YouTube right now, see if we have any questions there. Liz, do you have any questions for me or the audience?
My question for you is, if you could go on vacation with one wrestler, who would it be?
Oh, that's a fun question. Well, oh man. Sangha is very chill. We've seen chill Sangha, and he's cool. And then
I haven't seen Chill Sangha. I don't know anything about him.
But then he's chill, but then he'll defend you. He's a good pal. But then you have Corbin, who would take you to the best best eating spot, best restaurants, probably barbecue for you too. Which probably wouldn't help you very much, but
hey, as long as you got Impossible Burgers, I'm fine.
True. He's also a alcohol connoisseur. I think he has a whole whiskey collection or tequila collection or something. He'll take you to the best spots. I'll go with Sangha. Because Corbin being like a tour guide might get a little overwhelming.
It's true.
Staying with
Probably
him.
wouldn't get a lot of downtime.
Yeah. Song guy, I feel like he'd be like, yeah, let's just like do our own things. We'll meet back here, hang out, get some drinks.
Fair enough.
What about you?
Probably Eddie Kingston, because like we could have like a lot of fun. We probably would like get along really well, I think.
He'd be sitting in the fucking hotel room just watching the Yankees game. And so would you. So I guess that's perfect.
Match made in heaven. We would scream at the Yankee game, then we'd go out for like drinks, and then we probably hit a point in the night where we just started oversharing a little bit. And I think that'd be perfect. We'd grow closer.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good answer. You definitely don't want...
Because then also, I wouldn't have to convince him to be like, oh, well, the Yankees are playing. Can we stay in the hotel for a little bit longer before going out?
He'd be like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I know. And then when I start screaming at them and saying horrible things, he'd be like, you're right. Finally, somebody would understand me.
Wendy Chu would also be a good choice.
Yeah.
Like she just sleep soundly, not bother you like on the plane or like in the hotel room. But she's fun. Like she went on the whole thing with Roxanne Perez spying on Toxic Attraction.
Yeah.
Should be a good choice. All right. Well, that's all we got. Liz, would you like to close out the Oh, no. What am I doing? We have our predictions.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Luckily, we're like just a minute over an hour in.
Okay.
All right. Hell in a Cell 22. Let's find the card. Oh my god, why did I just completely botch that? All right. 12 hours ago. Oh my god. All right. So, let's start from the bottom. And there are not many matches announced. All right. So, first match on the card. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Let me just copy and paste this.
Also, apparently they took MJF out of the AEW shop.
The AEW shot?
Shop?
Oh, shop. Oh my god. Of course they did. So first match, Finn, AJ, and Liv versus Judgment Day.
I'm gonna go with Finn, AJ, and Liv.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm going Judgment Day. Next up, Theory versus Mustafa Ali for the United States Championship. And let me remind you, Hell in a Cell, I believe, is in Mustafa's hometown.
Okay. What are you going with?
Let me just confirm. Allstate Arena. That is Rosemont, Illinois. That's almost Chicago. Mustafa Ali. Yeah, okay. Chicago. Yeah. I'm going with Theory. WWE hates their hometown heroes.
I'm gonna go with Ali.
Alright, okay. Alright, next up we have Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel.
Oh, that's easy. I'm gonna go with Ezekiel.
I'm going with Ezekiel too. I wish it was like Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel. Loser goes back to being Elias, and KO loses, and he becomes Elias.
God.
All right, next up, Bobby Lashley versus Omos and MVP in a handicap match. Mm.
I'm going with Bobby.
It's all depend. Like, this is the one storyline where it's impossible to tell what they're trying to accomplish, whether they're trying to get Bobby over or trying to get Omos over. But if you're trying to get Omos over, you don't stick him in a handicap match.
Yeah.
I'm going with Bobby too. As much as I don't want to. Alright, next up for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca versus Becky versus Asuka.
God, I don't know. What are you going with?
I'm going with Bianca.
Yeah, I think I'm going with Bianca as well.
Alright, and finally, what will probably be the main event, which is weird. They gotta announce another match at SmackDown. Like, there's no main event here. But it is Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Hell in a Cell match.
I think I'm going with Cody.
Think he's gonna get that three-peat?
Yeah.
I'm going with Seth. Like, I want to go with Cody and say that it'll be like Seth snaps at this match, but I don't think they'll pull the trigger. I think this is Seth. Now, just like we did with Double or Nothing, if more matches come in between today and Hell in a Cell, we will make predictions ourselves and then talk about them once we do the recap. So these are technically not final. They are written in stone, but more can be added. Did we never decided if we're gonna do that DQ card thing, where we put down the DQ card on a match, and if it's a DQ, we don't lose. Oh, we gain points, but we don't lose any points if it doesn't happen.
Let me noodle on that.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think that any of these matches are gonna get DQ.
But
I really don't.
But that's the thing. If none of them DQ, you don't lose any points because of it. It's just insurance.
All right, fine then. Kevin Owens and Ezekiel.
Okay. Not what I would have picked.
Thinking you're not me then.
I'm gonna put mine down on Theory and Ali.
Okay.
All right. So those are our predictions, and if you don't know how our predictions work, for every incorrect prediction, we have to do a dab of hot sauce, and whoever has the most correct predictions will be dubbed the Pinfall Podcast Prediction Champion, and I'm the current running champ after Double or Nothing, and we get the egg as a prize. And the champ gives a punishment to the loser. All right, and that'll all go down on Sunday. So tune in then, everyone. So, Liz, would you like to close out the show?
Yes, if you tuned in today, thank you so much. And if you tuned in the future, thank you so much. We will see you on Sunday when we talk about Hell in a Cell. It's going to be super fun. I'm probably going to lose, so that'll be interesting.
It's WWE. They can... This will probably be a lot of mix-ups. I'm predicting. Thank you all so much for watching. Follow and subscribe. Join us Sunday, as Liz already said, for Hell in a Cell. All of our stuff, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Spotify are all Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eli's at Elaine23, and we'll see you all on Sunday for Hell in a Cell. But until then, have a great rest of your week, a great start to your weekend, and a great June. Happy Father's Day. Bye-bye.